Alright, good evening everyone. My name is Scar Navarro. I am the Drama King, where life is drama, drama is life. And I'm going to do a part 2 of the second part of the video in regards to what is going on in the sect called La Luz del Mundo. And for those who don't know, La Luz del Mundo is a definitely a supposedly a primitive Christian church that started in Guadalajara in 1926 by Eusebio Joaquin Flores, otherwise known in the church as Naason Joaquin. And then in 1964, after Naason Joaquin's passing, his son Samuel Joaquin Flores took over until his death in 2014. And currently in 2014, to present, Naason Joaquin Garcia is currently the leader of La Luz del Mundo, but he's in jail. He's still in jail for more than a year since June of 2019. And my goal here is for people to know what is going on as well, and to also educate and update in terms of what is going on as well. I've researched about this cult since college, and ever since then I'm definitely just beyond shocked and just knowing about what is going on, and just learning about what they practice, but also realizing how families can be destroyed by cults such as La Luz del Mundo or any other cult itself, and even histories of sexual abuse and so many things that are just spine chilling. But definitely there is a lot of cults that do affect the Latinx slash Chicano community, and I definitely feel like it's important for me to know that sex, just like La Luz del Mundo, exists, and not only do they have the main church in Guadalajara, but they also have churches around the globe, especially here in California, especially Southern California and LA. They have churches in not just LA, but Huntington Park, Southgate. No, not Huntington Park. They also have one in Pasadena. They also have one in Santa Ana, and they also have one in South LA as well. And they also have many churches in Latin America, besides Mexico, which is the main country. But they also have churches in Europe as well. And even though it's supposed to be 5 million members, but then I doubt that, because one, I feel like there's already a decline in regards to the whole situation and what is going on. But I would also like to congratulate people, critics such as Luis Reyes, who has spoken up against this cult and what is going on, and because he's been doing this for many years now, in the 90s, especially when the first cases of sexual abuse in 1997 were 3 former members. One of them is Moises Padilla, spoke about their experiences for the first time. And even though, and unfortunately, he ended up stabbed for more than 50 times. And then in 1999, around 1999, he also solicited amnesty because of what had happened to him. And who knows if he's still alive or what is happening, but wherever he is, hopefully one day he does come out and talk about it in light of what is going and still going on. And especially hearing not just stories but experiences from former members such as Sochil Martin, who definitely was the one who broke and exposed what is the atrocities of this cult as well. And not only that, but even former such as Brenda Tolentino, who also does a podcast. And if you guys want more information, please definitely check the first part of the video that I talked about in regards to La Luz del Mundo, and even Héctor Verá, who recently I saw the interview with Luis Reyes yesterday, and he definitely does he definitely talks about a lot of things that are going on in the church, and even a group though that I'm going to talk about called the Incondicionales, and this is a report that um, I will talk about, which is written by, which has been reported by Isaias Alvarado, who works for Univision, and he's been covering this case as well. And even fellow YouTubers such as Pastor Gamaliel, as he talks about the sect himself, and even discusses so many topics that are necessary, as well as Vic Vic, who also talks about it as well. And I'm going to talk about recently about the preliminary hearing that happened on earlier this upcoming week on August, and it was reported on August 12th. And I found this article from LA Times, which is written by Matthew Ormseth, and I'm going to talk about the details of the preliminary hearing that has happened in this in last week. Since this week we're starting a new week, so who knows what, but let's see what's gonna happen. Alright, I'm gonna take parts of it from LA Times though, and I'll definitely put the articles down below and I'll definitely put the articles down below so that way you guys can look at a few articles, and then I'm gonna see if I can send the link to the first part of the video right after, and hopefully this will inform you guys more about what is La Luz del Mundo in general, and just forms from our members, and knowing what to do in case of your family is in similar situation, because because many cults, not such as La Luz del Mundo, Scientology, Nexium, and so many cults that are out there, always prey upon people and uses their vulnerability to their advantage, and even just cases of just torture and just abuse of all kinds. But that's definitely going to be another topic sometime soon, which one I will talk about, another cult that also affects our community as well, but that's going to be for another one though. But I'm going to talk about the preliminary hearing according to the article from LA Times. Alright, in the paragraph that says the prosecution's first in which one, sorry, I almost had a bit of slip. Alright, here it goes. Definitely skimming ahead, and definitely on Tuesday, prosecutors from the California Attorney General's office began a preliminary hearing, by the end of which they must convince LA Superior Court Judge Ronald S. Cohen, because earlier the judge George Lomeli definitely did a wonderful job in just doing the best to make sure this cult is being out there. And alright, I'm gonna talk about the article, but on Tuesday, prosecutors from the California Attorney General's office began a preliminary hearing, by the end of which they must convince LA Superior Court Judge Ronald S. Cohen that their case is strong enough to proceed. They expect the hearing to last 7 to 10 days. The prosecution's first witness, Troy Holmes, a special agent from the California Department of Justice, testified that he oversaw the investigation from shortly after the time Garcia was reported through an online child sex abuse hotline, and culminating his arrest on a private airstrip on LAX. When Garcia disembarked, he was carrying an iPhone and an iPad. Holmes said the agent spent much of Tuesday testifying about videos and photographs retrieved from the devices. Holmes described one video found on the iPad that showed a young male wearing a suit and black mask that covered his eyes. A woman entered the frame, undressed him, and performed oral sex on him. Holmes testified the witness has been identified as the boy's aunt, the agent said. A pair of FBI agents traveled to Texas and interviewed the boy at his high school. Holmes testified that the boy, whom he called John Doe 2, was born in 2003. He said Garcia's attorney, Alan Jackson, protested that the prosecutors were refusing to identify his client's accusers, as well as many of the case's witnesses, depriving him of the opportunity to cross-examine or establish any motives and biases. The prosecution wants to conduct this entire hearing basically in secret, he told the judge. Diana Calligan, a deputy attorney general, said they were keeping victims and some witnesses nameless because they've been subjected to threats and intimidations. Which, if you leave cults such as La Luz del Mundo or any other cult, they do that. Cohen ruled that this was a preliminary hearing and not a trial. Garcia didn't have a right to confront his accusers. Garcia has maintained his innocence since being arrested last summer, and his lawyers say they look forward to clearing his name in the court. Jackson declined to comment after Tuesday's hearing. The religious leader appeared in court Tuesday wearing an orange jumpsuit from County Jail and his wrists shackled at the waist. He has listened to a Spanish translation of the proceedings through an earpiece. Holmes described a series of interviews he conducted with 2 girls and a woman identified as Jane Doe 2, 3, and 4. In April 2018, he spoke with Jane Doe 2, who was 17 at the time. He said several years earlier, she told the agent she was invited to join a service group at La Luz del Mundo in East Los Angeles, a member of the church since birth. She has told the agent she felt honored to be brought into the circle. When Holmes described is an exclusive group of girls that service Mr. Garcia, which it's already sounding like a harem. Belonging to this group was very important to her mother, Holmes testified. After she turned 15, Jane Doe 2 was invited by Alondra Ocampo, a member of La Luz del Mundo in East Los Angeles and a co-defendant of Garcia, to join a more exclusive group of girls. Holmes said he was told girls in this group danced for Garcia while partially nude and wearing lingerie. Holmes testified because when Jane Doe told Ocampo she felt uncomfortable doing this, she said she was told if she didn't want to participate in the dancing, it would go against the church and Mr. Garcia. Intimidation and threats, people. Knowing that the girl's father was not in her life, Ocampo told Garcia would be like a father to her and take care of her. She told the agent. The night Jane Doe 2 came to Garcia's home in East Los Angeles and was greeted at the back entrance by Ocampo, who told her to undress and serve Garcia coffee in the nude, he recalled to Holmes. When she entered Garcia's office, he complimented her, kissed her, and assaulted her. I'm going to edit that word. I'm going to keep it YouTube friendly. She said, according to Holmes, she was a virgin at the time. Holmes testified he interviewed Jane Doe 3 in April 2019. She was 17 at the time. Ocampo invited her in the same service group as the East Los Angeles Church, and only Jane Doe 3 known as the fruteros or fruit servers. Ocampo told the girl she would be committing sin to Garcia as they would be forgiven because he was God's servant, and the young woman told her. At the hotel in Whittier, Ocampo filmed Jane Doe 3 and another girl spreading whipped cream and strawberries on each other, and the rest, you already know what it is. In January of 2018, Jane Doe 3 was summoned in Garcia's East Los Angeles home and told Garcia's bedroom, according to Miss Holmes, when a woman she said knew as Miss Susie, the woman whom Jane Doe 3 subsequently identified as Susana Oaxaca. Garcia's personal assistant, now co-defendant, took the girl's hand and placed it on Garcia's you-know-what and began. Wow. Oaxaca asked the girl to perform oral sex on Garcia and very quietly no and shook her head, and the girl, and then Holmes also interviewed Jane Doe 4, which is a 24-year-old woman who has served as Garcia's personal assistant in Guadalajara, where the religious leaders keep another home. He likened that woman's role in Mexico, that of Ocampo in East Los Angeles, overseeing a group of young girls who performed chores in Garcia's household, then grooming some of them to be inducted into a more exclusive circle that was subjected to sexual abuse. Garcia's preference was the younger the better, she told Holmes. He said, according to an extent, they're more pure, they have more love for me. The agent recalled her saying, and Jane Doe 4 said Garcia also sexually assaulted her, and even though, and the reason, and then the last sentence, a lifelong member of the Luz del Mundo, she says she felt she left the church after Garcia asked for her to provide her sister for similar behavior. Wow. Oh my god. For the witnesses who were minors around that time, I'm like, do the parents have common sense or what to allow these atrocious acts to happen? And I am just beyond. Man. Where, and please excuse me if I'm gonna make any colorful language here, but where, how, or where in their right mind do these parents think it's okay to let some so-called apostle who is a charlatan allow them and his assistants to take advantage of minors? And not only that, but this has happened in 1997, where one of the people who spoke forward also talked about this as well. I'm gonna add more information in the second part tomorrow, and then let you guys know why. And I'm like, did these parents lose their common sense or something? Because if I hear of it, I would have called the cop. I would have called the authorities. I would never let any child or anyone take advantage of my sister or my child or my daughter or my niece or whoever. And the fact that the aunt performed a devious act in front of her own nephew, what the and please excuse me, I'm trying my best not to curse here, but what in their right mind oh my who would allow this? And I thought I've heard cases from the Catholic Church. This one just, man, what a twisted world that we live in. Boy. And you know what the irony is, that Naason Joaquin even said about the abuses of the Catholic Church, and he's doing the same thing. Except in La Luz del Mundo. Wow. He's just proving to be just as bad as everyone else. Just like the generations before him. Wow. 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 Please, parents, if somebody tells you that your daughter should, parents, please put your children first and know what their best interests are, and don't put your kids in danger or situations as traumatic as these. And I'm like, some parents who believe and support the indefensive and allow their own child to be taken advantage like that, you should just have your kids being taken away. And excuse me for if I'm sounding irate, pissed, and just on the verge of cussing, and this, it's just insane. But I'm also going to talk about a group, a very infamous group that La Luz del Mundo also holds, and it's called the Incondicionales. And it's not that famous song from Luis Miguel, but this one though, this is from an article by Isaías Alvarado, and it's in Spanish, so please, and I will definitely translate it for you guys. Alright. Por ese acto divino debía quedarse al frente de la iglesia para difundir que era un verdadero servo de Dios. Samuel Joaquín eligió un grupo de élite que se llamó Incondicionales. Cita la demanda. Así diluyó las dudas de la vieja guardia en los templos, que lo consideraba un profeta de bajo rango. And basically, the Incondicionales are a elite group in which they're basically security guards where they serve the quote unquote apostle of Jesus Christ, and just they do his acts for him. In which Martin also talked about in the lawsuit that she's filing as well. And man, I just hope Naason never comes out. And I'm gonna make a comparison here. After hearing the abuses of Harvey Weinstein, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Jeffrey Epstein, and Naason Joaquin, I just want people to know that regardless if you're a man or a woman or whoever you are, please take precautions and please listen to your instinct. And if you hear sorry, I'm trying to take the words out of my mouth here, but if you, however, know that if you're a parent though, if your child asks you that the local pastor invited me privately to do this, please ask questions. And please make sure to do the best way possible so nothing can happen. Please make sure to protect your child and have conversations with your child in regards to what is going on as well. And just don't be afraid to talk about it with your kids in regards to realizing people who to trust and people whom not to trust as well. And just knowing that it's important to put your kids first in regards and listen to your kids. If something happens to them, if in case something happens, leave everything else aside and listen to your kids and know that you are a safe space for them and that you will be there for them no matter what. And in case if something happens, please report it. Don't let this get away. Unfortunately though, we have such a twisted system that it is scary, and I'm gonna be quite honest with you guys. I feel like I'm gonna have a gut feeling that Naason's gonna be walking out free, and I really hope he stays in jail. And if you think this happens in La Luz del Mundo, this happens anywhere. And even with the R. Kelly scandal and the abuses that have happened, and with Jeffrey Epstein, and just so many cases of not just abuse, but just manipulation, trafficking, and just sexual battery on minors, and the fact that parents are just allowing this to happen, it just shows some parents are just as complicit. And are not afraid to let their kids put their hands on these predators. Man, I never thought I would react like this. And for those who have left, I want to commend those who have left this sickening cult, though, to don't be afraid to come forward, and don't let anyone intimidate you, regardless if you are from the Luz del Mundo, Scientology, or any other cult out there. Please get out while you can. It's not worth your health, your well-being, or your family's or your friends' well-being, anyone's well-being, to be in a sect that is dangerous. And then also, I'm going to send some links to that I have interviews with Sochil Martin, and which one she was interviewed by Carmen Aristegui. And so I might add some more articles tomorrow or this week in regards to the 1997 accusations that occurred in La Luz del Mundo as well, because there are also two more that came out as well around the same time, Moises Padilla as well. Which one I will add those to the video either tomorrow or by this week, though. And also there's also a video that I'm going to send out about Silem Garcia, his so-called rebuttal, and honestly I think he's just as guilty as well, because the fact that you see it in their eyes, though, says a lot. And I know there's going to be people who are going to criticize and say, oh no, but at the end of the day, though, they just are blind to see what is really going on, and are just allowing their minds to be manipulated, gaslighted, or any other way, shape, or form. But anyway, I did not expect to have that kind of reaction, though. But I will send you guys some links, though, and I'm also gonna send a link to saving the post office, because if you guys know what's going on, that the post office, we may lose the post office as well, and it also may suppress a lot of. It's also going to suppress voter rights and so many things, though. And I'm gonna send the link as well to see what can you do to help, and hashtag save the post office, because we need this, and this should not be allowed at all. Alright guys, make sure you have a wonderful night, though. And besides this, I also if you guys just want some, you guys also want to watch any videos that are not I also have videos on just recently I also did some videos on Du Yilong, and also did a video in regards to my final thoughts of Reunion, The Sound of Providence, aka the Lost Team reboot. If you guys are fans of dramas as well, and also gonna do other videos in regards to this one. But anyway, though, please make sure to take good care of yourselves, and make sure to always practice self-care, wear a mask, wash your hands, and remember, you are not alone, though. And if you're in a situation if you are in a cult or have family, if you have a cult, though, please get out. And if you have family members who are there, please remember, though, it's gonna be okay. And regardless if it's La Luz del Mundo, Scientology, Nexium, or any other cult like that, please let them know that they love you, that you still love them no matter what, though. And it's gonna take time, but I can't promise that on anyone, but only you can make the decision to go. Alright guys, take good care of yourselves, stay safe, and have a wonderful night. And right now, it is hot in Southern California, especially with the fires, so please make sure to stay safe, and make sure to stay hydrated. And if you have an air conditioner or a fan, make sure to use it. Alright guys, have a wonderful night, and I'll see you in the next video.